Today's lesson is adding rational numbers. The objective is to add rational numbers using models and rules. We won't do the models, but we'll do the rulers, and to apply addition. So vocabulary: additive inverse is the opposite of a number. So like the additive inverse of 8 would be -8. Property: identity property of addition. A number plus 0 will always get you that number. That's what that means. The inverse property of addition means a number plus its opposite will get you 0. So like -8 plus 8 is 0. We also have what's called a matrix. It is a rectangular arrangement of numbers in rows and columns. It's not like the movie. It looks like a box like this, and all the numbers inside, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are elements. An element is each item in a matrix. So write the expression modeled by each number on the number line. So if I do A, you always start with the number that has just the line, not the arrow attached with it. So I would start with 1, and since we're doing it adding, so we're going to put a plus sign. And then you count how many spaces it went over. It went 1, 2, 3, 4. So I added 4. And your answer should always be that. 1 plus 4 is 5. Let's try it again. B. You start at 2 because it doesn't have the arrow. And we're going towards the arrow. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we started at 2 plus. And I went to the left 4, so it's -4. And 2 plus -4 is -2. Why don't you try C and D on your own? Put me on pause, and when you are finished, check and see if you're correct. Okay, so for C, it's -3 plus 7 equals 4, and D is -1 plus -4, which equals -5. 2. Simplify. I have some rules down at the bottom. And that is, if the signs are the same, then add and then put that sign. So if they're both negatives, you add them. And you put the negative sign, and that's your answer. If the signs are different, so positive and a negative, you're going to subtract them, and you're going to put the highest number sign, so you don't know what that answer might be. So if I look at it, -5 plus -6, they are the same. So we're going to add 5 plus 6, which is 11, and the signs are negative, so it would be -11. B, you have opposite signs. They're opposites signs. So we are going to subtract, so 34 minus 13, and that will get you 21, and then the 34 is the bigger number, and it's a negative, so it would be -21. Notice on C and D there are decimals. I would like you to remember how to do them. I want you to do them on your own. It's the same concepts as we were doing on A and B, adding or subtracting. You need to figure it out on your own, and we'll check it out and see how you did. Put me on pause, and then when you're finished, push play. Okay, on C, remember you lined up your decimals, so your answer should be 13.1 because they're the same sign, and you needed to line up the decimals, and so you added, and because both of them are positive, it's a positive answer. You do not need the plus sign, so it can go away. And D, they're opposite signs, so you need to subtract. Remember to put the bigger number on top when you subtract. And you again need to line up your decimals. And I had to borrow. And so it would become 1.9. And 3.4 is bigger than 1.5, so it's a positive answer. Okay, example 3. Football. A team gains 2 yards. Gains 2 yards is a good thing, so it's a positive 2. Then it loses. We're doing addition problems. Use addition to find the results. Plus, it loses, that's a bad thing, 7 yards. What is the result, or what's the answer? So 2 plus negative 7, they're opposite signs, so you subtract. So 7 minus 2, which is 5. And 7 is bigger, so it's a negative 5. Next one. The temperature falls 15 degrees. Well, that's a bad thing, so it falls is a negative. Then it rises 18 degrees. And it's a positive. Again, they're opposite signs. And what's the change in temperature altogether after that? Well, 18 minus 15 is 3. And 18 is bigger, so it's a positive number. All right. Evaluate or substitute. Substitute each expression for n equals negative 2.3 or t equals negative 7.1. So we are going to plug these numbers into the n or the t in the problems. So if I look at A, it's negative n. So it's negative, and then whatever n is, which is negative 2.3, plus 8.9. Now notice on 2.3 you have 2 negatives. Well, a negative and a negative make a positive. So now it's 2.3 plus 8.9, which equals 11.2. B, T, and there's no negative in front of it, so you don't have to put an extra negative. So T is negative 7.1 plus, and then they have it, negative 0.43, negative 4.3. They're the same signs, so you're going to add them. And they're both negatives. So I'm going to put a negative sign. And then 7.1 plus 4.3 is negative 11.4. I'd like you to try C, D, and E by yourself. Check it out and see if you can do it. I will write down the problems, but I want you to try it on your own, so put me on pause. And then when you are finished with C, D, and E, you can come back and check it out. All right, for C, it would be negative 2 plus negative 7.1 equals negative 9.1. D would be 8.5 plus negative, 8.5, plus negative 7.1, which makes it 8.5 plus 7.1, which is 15.6. E would be negative 7.1 plus 7.49. The two negatives become positive, and so it would be 14.59. All right, so evaluate each expression. Again, substitute. A rock climber climbs a mountain. The base of the mountain is 132 below sea level. So right there, that's negative 132. Write an expression to represent the climber's height below or above sea level. So, started off at negative 132, and they climbed 485 feet. Again, they're opposite signs, so you're going to subtract them. So you're going to go 485 minus 132, which would be 353. So they were 353 feet above sea level. With B, it's a little different. They climb a little bit more like me. They start off at the base of negative 132, and they only climbed up 45 feet. Again, they're opposite directions. Opposite signs, so you're going to subtract. So it's going to be 132 minus 45. 7, 12. So it would be 87, negative 87 feet, because 132 is bigger and it's a negative. Now this is what matrices, that means more than one matrix, look like. I'm going to show you one, and you are going to do the others. Put me on pause and check and see if you're doing them correctly. So, on the first one, you go in order of the way they are lined up. So if I look at A, I'm going to start with the left top. That's negative 5. And I'm going to add it to the left top and the other matrix. So negative 5 plus negative 3. And you write out a same kind of matrix, and that would be negative 8. And then you would do the right-hand side top. So 2.7 plus negative 3.9. And that equals negative 1.2. Then you're going to do the 7 and the negative 4. They're on the bottom bottom left. So 7 plus negative 4 is positive 3. They're opposite signs, so you subtract them. And then you're going to do squiggly lines. We'll do squiggly lines. Negative 3 plus positive 2, and they're opposite signs, so you subtract, and it's negative 1. So B, I want you to do it. It's only one line down. Notice there's only one column down here, but there's 3 numbers, so there should be 3 numbers inside. C, same idea. There's going to be 4 numbers. Some of these are going to be fractions. Remember, when you add and subtract fractions, you make a common denominator. All right, put me on pause and come back when you're finished to see if you're done. You did it correctly. Okay, for B, the answers are negative 4, 1.5, and 16. And for C, it would be negative 9, 3/4, 5/4, or 1 1/4. I don't care. It just has to be reduced up to a certain point. And then negative 1. All right. Thank you for this lesson. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.